Mankind, we are a brilliant race. Is there anything we cannot do? From the beginning of time, we have evolved, continually evolved, getting bigger, better, faster, stronger. But despite our brilliance, there are still some things in life that we just don't do well, we don't get right. One of these things I want to talk about today. One of these things which we don't do well. This thing is the actual fabric of society that we live in. It's a building block of our future. Today I want to talk about the institution which is marriage, and perhaps why we do not do it so well as we should. Statistics show that 1 in every 2 marriages fail, and this ratio has existed forever. It doesn't improve. Now, there are a lot of experts out there who have deliberated on this subject. Theories have been formulated, books have been written, and while there may not be any fast solutions to this problem, one thing is known, and that is why this is the case. Man and women are engineered differently. We are cut from a different cloth. Put simply speaking, we are different. Let us look at these differences a little further from a societal aspect. Starting with the land down under, my Australia. What visions do you get when you think of the Australian man? Perhaps you've seen the movie from the 80s, Crocodile Dundee. The hunter, the warrior, the tan guy with a cowboy hat, the shirtless jacket. He's got the big knife. He wrestles crocodiles. He saves the fair maidens. Maybe. This image then was accentuated in the 90s and the 2000s with the real-life crocodile hunter, Steve Irwin. The late Steve Irwin. May he rest in peace. But what about the real Australian man? What is he, may I ask? Well, let me tell you, ladies, this image which I have just described, this is a true representation of the Australian man. We are hunters. We are warriors. Don't be fooled by the suit. But as appealing as that may be to the opposite sex, in terms of a long-lasting relationship, it just doesn't cut it. Whereas Australian women have continually evolved with society, becoming worldly, sophisticated and independent, they have left behind their Australian mate with their ancestors in the cave. Let us move to the European continent, the home of pasta and pizza, Italy, the Italian man. What comes to mind, ladies again? Masculinity, passion, creativity, good in the kitchen, maybe good in that other room. But there's one thing, and which ladies haven't dreamt or had a fantasy about having an Italian man, an Italian lover, the real Italian stallion. But there's one thing you must know about an Italian man, and that is, he is a mama's boy. and because Italian men generally do not leave home until that very day they get married, effectively going from their mama's bosom to their wife's bosom, and not having a period in between of independence, They generally have close family ties forever, especially with their mama. But this is not necessarily bad for relationships. As long as the woman is aware that when she's getting married to the Italian man, she also gets an obsessive, maybe a little crazy Italian mother-in-law. And also that she must compete with the husband's love and attention, for his love and attention. Federico, my Federico, you must look after my Federico. Do you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll be in the next room and we can look after Federico together. A true fact. An Italian woman applied for divorce from her Italian husband 3 weeks, yes, 3 weeks after getting married. And the reason she cited on her divorce papers was, I knew that my marriage was doomed from the very first instant that my husband insisted that his mother come on the honeymoon. This pattern is replicated for all countries and all societies. Whereas the Australian man has an unwillingness to let go of his primal roots, to the Italian man who has his unwillingness to let go of his mama's skirt, all men have something else in their life which competes with the interests of their husband, with their wife and their families and their relationships. But despite this dismal set of facts, we have to go on. We have to be persistent. Because after all, if 50% of marriages fail, that means that there's 50% which are successful. And the successful ones, I'm sure that they too have had to work through their indifferences that I've just described. And in getting through to the other side, they've been able to enjoy and to participate in the wonderful thing which is marriage. I should know. I'm a statistic. I'm on my second marriage. So I think I'm qualified to speak on this. That marriage is worth making every effort to get right, no matter how many attempts you have to make. Because when you get it right, when it works, it is better than anything in the world.